Hello, welcome to the Beard Out Podcast. Podcast where we talk about the two greatest things in the world, beer and Weird Al Yankovic. My Aunt Lala and my dad are the hosts of the show. Thanks for listening to the Beard Out Podcast, part of the iPods Media Network. Stay weird and enjoy the show.
Once upon a time.
Boring.
It was the best of times. It was the worst.
You got that right.
What's your problem?
We want new stories.
Hi, it's Frankie.
And Garrett. And we host the Ever Trending Story, a weekly podcast where we bring to life a fictional story created by our own minds and some of the hottest, craziest trends from the internet.
Find us wherever you download podcasts, and be sure to join the fun on social media at EverTrendingPod.
Here we go.
Well, hey, how are you doing? Have a seat. Have a drink. Boy, I can glad to see ya. What can you say? Where's Lala?
Oh boy, people. Yeah, you know what you're in for. You know, it's the Beard Owl Podcast, right? It's the podcast where we talk about two of the greatest things in the world, beer and Weird Al. And this is our second very special episode in a row because my brother decided to take most of April off. No, he's going to be doing a lot of work in May, so we'll let him have it. We'll just let him have it. So this is a very special episode of the Beard Owl Podcast, and that means my brother John is not here because he's not very special. So I have very special people on in his stead. And today I have, I was looking back, and so you're a repeat offender. This is your third time on the show.
Yep.
And I was looking at you were on about this time last year. So I feel like you're on about once a year around this. You're my springtime buddy. So
That's right. I'm good for a springtime drop-in.
yeah, you are. So Rob, welcome back. How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing great. Glad to be on again.
I'm so
I
so
think
pumped.
this, the first time I've been on since you are newlywed.
Yes.
So let me just say on air, congratulations. I've said congratulations to you and Russ, but congratulations to you both.
Thank you. That has probably been this is gonna sound like really glib when I say it, but one of my favorite parts about being recently married in the podcast space is like literally every time I sit down to record with somebody who I haven't recorded with since that happened, I get the congratulations all over again. And it's just delightful.
And it all goes down on wax. It's here forever.
It's here forever. That's
Anytime
right.
you need to pick me up, just a laundry list of congratulations you can go back and listen to.
Somebody congratulated me somewhere. So since the last time we talked, you have the Great Song Podcast, which you are obviously, you need to talk about that again. But you started a whole new venture here too. So right here at the drop, tell the people what you are up to because it's pretty cool.
Sure did, yeah. So the Great Song Podcast has been going since 2017. So we're in year 6 of it, 11th season. And so still going with it as much as ever. But just a couple months ago, I started a new show called Cinema Snack Bar. And we talk about the movies you love and the foods that made them tasty. And so it's every other week, my co-host Zeke and I, we talk about a movie. We kind of break it down in the way that you would kind of expect, And if you've ever heard the Great Song Podcast, it's the same kind of chemistry, same kind of vibes. And then we talk about a food or a drink, something that's relevant to the movie, so either something that appears or something that is like, this movie makes us think of this, or, that kind of thing. And we walk through kind of the recipe. We try to make it ourselves as best we can. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. So we do that. This one, we actually do a video version on Spotify, so you can see us like trying all the stuff and all that stuff. And we do Instagram reels on our recipes and all that stuff. So kind of a mashup of two genres, much like yourself, right?
Yep.
You've got the mashup thing happening. And so we took a page out of your book and tried that ourselves with Cinema Snack Bar.
That is so cool. I love that. And I am just going to say that if you ever want to talk about UHF and try your hand at a Twinkie Wiener sandwich, I'm your girl.
That is happening for sure. UHF is happening 100%. And Twinkie Wiener sandwiches 100%.
I'm just going to go on record as saying not as bad as you'd think.
Okay.
Like nowhere near as bad as you'd think, and that's where I'll leave it because I've done it. And
All right.
Yep, it's a great thing. But yeah, you gave me a great segue into the thing that we like to combine here on this show is beer and Weird Al, and I have absolutely no rhyme or reason for this beer other than it's the last one in the case that my father brought to me when he came down for the wedding last month. It's from my favorite Pennsylvania brewery, Trogs Independent Brewing in Hershey, Pennsylvania. And it is a double bock beer called Coconator. And it's brewed with cacao nibs, coconut, and vanilla beans. And it is just delightful. This tastes like home. And you know what? Anytime I get to talk about Weird Al, it feels like home. So that is my tenuous connection between what we're talking about here and the beer that I have chosen to drink today. So
I would expect nothing less than a chocolatey beer from Hershey, Pennsylvania.
right. Oh my God. Yeah. And it's good. And it's definitely Hershey chocolate. Like I grew up on Hershey's chocolate because I grew up in Pennsylvania, and
I
it's
bet
like
you did. Yeah.
you know the difference. When I was a kid, my mom in the garden, she didn't get regular mulch. She got cocoa mulch from Hershey, which is mulch made with the spent cocoa bean shells.
Yeah.
And so every time it would rain, the whole entire backyard would smell like chocolate, and it was delightful.
Cool.
So
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
We had some actually this past episode of Cinema Snack Bar, the one that's currently out as this one airs. A new one will drop Tuesday. But this last one that airs, we did Forrest Gump, and we tried to make homemade chocolate because life is like a box of chocolates, et cetera, et cetera. And so we tried to make chocolate from scratch, from the nibs, and do all the ingredients. And we kind of failed at it. We successfully made chocolate, but we didn't make anything close to what we were trying to make. So Hershey's, everyone in Hershey would have been very disappointed with us.
Well, they would have been disappointed, but in the spirit of Forrest Gump, you never know what you're going to get.
You never know. There's a disclaimer right up front. I mean, you do never know. So
Yeah. That's fabulous. I love that concept. That's just so great. That's so great and so cool. And you get to enjoy foods that you wouldn't enjoy otherwise.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. We've tried new stuff. We learned how to like home make nacho chips, and we did Nacho Libre, and so we had to make the Lord's chips. And
Oh my God.
know,
So you
stuff
made
like
the
that. We
actual
got-
chips?
Yeah, we just homemade chips. It's easy and amazing and better than anything you'll buy at the store.
Now, did you start with, and forgive me for not having listened to that one, but did you start with like a tortilla, or did you make tortillas from scratch?
We did not make the tortillas from scratch. That would be like the next level would be if you want to make the tortilla yourself. But yeah, we started with just the tortillas and learned how to make them at home. We learned how to bake them and fry them, and then they're incredible.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome. See, yeah. I've done that in a pinch when I have a dip that I want, but I don't have a good vessel for a dip, but I have some tortillas. Yeah, that's the way to go.
Yeah.
So, yes, this is the third in this new series that we're starting here on the Beard Al podcast about the most underrated tracks on Weird Al albums. And on deck this week is Weird Al's 1992 offering, Off the Deep End. So, what I'm going to do here is kind of run through the tracks that exist on Off the Deep End. And then I'm going to let Rob talk about what he thinks is the most underrated of all of these. But first, you have to be prepared to defend and define what you think underrated in this context means.
Fair enough.
And that's harder than you think. But anyway, here we go. Track 1 is Smells Like Nirvana, which is a parody of Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. Track 2 is Trigger Happy, which is a style parody of the Beach Boys and, that ilk. I Can't Watch This is a direct parody of You Can't Touch This by MC Hammer. Then we have the polka. Track 4 is Polka Your Eyes Out, which is a beautiful encapsulation of music that was happening in the late 80s and early 90s. And track 5, I Was Only Kidding, which is a style parody of Tonio K, which you don't know unless you know, I guess.
I do not know.
Exactly. I did not know until the internet told me so a while ago. Track 6 is The White Stuff, which is a direct parody of You Got It, parentheses, The Right Stuff by the New Kids on the Block. Track 7 is just a Weird Al original, When I Was Your Age. Track 8, a track that we discussed actually, no, we didn't. Oh, see, time is a flat circle. John and I are actually talking about this song next week on the show. We've already recorded it, but it hasn't come out yet. So
Okay.
track 8 is Taco Grande, which is a parody of Rico Suave by Gerardo. Track 9 is an original, and it's inspired by songs of like Nick Lowe and that ilk called Airline Amy. Track 10 is the Plumbing Song, which is kind of a mashup parody of Baby Don't Forget My Number and Blame It on the Rain by Milli Vanilli. And yep. And the album closes out with You Don't Love Me Anymore, which is a Weird Al original. And then, of course, the hidden track at the end, Bite Me, which, is just kind of there.
Yeah.
And delightful. So, yeah, this is a full disclosure. In the grand scheme of like Weird Al albums, this is not like a big time favorite of mine. I have things I love about it, but this is not one that I will regularly sit down and listen to start to finish. It just might have something to do with its placement in time, like the kind of pop culture that it was pulling from, this, that, and the other. But it's not my favorite. However, there are absolutely things that I love about it and things that I think are truly underrated, which I'll talk about after you talk about what you're going to talk about. So, Rob, moment of truth. What do you feel is the most underrated track on Off the Deep End, and why do you think it's underrated?
All right. So first of all, I'll say this album hit at a prime time for me for whatever reason. I'm pretty sure this was the first Weird Al album that I bought new, like, you know what I mean? That I like knew it was coming out and bought it immediately when it came out. Everything else I had bought had already been released when I got it. And so I listened to this album 18 bajillion times as a kid. And still to this day, it just gives me certain feelings, And so I will say, for me, I look at this album and I go, this album is full of bangers. Like I would say, if I had to eliminate one song from this album, it would be Airline Amy. Airline Amy's probably in my like bottom 5 of Weird Al songs ever.
Okay.
But it is what it is, and it's fine. And you could argue that it's underrated, I'm sure, but not for me. But pretty much everything else on this, I just see and I go, man, that's a great one. Oh yeah, that's a great one. Great. And so a lot of songs on this album that I really, really, really love. And you could almost, and I'll say this, and maybe this could be your song, so I don't want to step on it.
No.
But You Don't Love Me Anymore is like one of, like, among the fandom, I feel like it's a super beloved song.
Sure is.
It's an amazing song. Everybody knows, and it's incredible. And it's like, and once you've heard it live, I feel like it takes it to another level. It's just amazing. But you could almost argue that it is the most underrated song just because it's so good. I just want to make that claim. You could almost say that You Don't Love Me Anymore is the most underrated song on this album. But for me, I knew immediately when I saw that this album was open to tackle, I knew that I wanted to talk about When I Was Your Age.
Nice. Okay.
That to me is not only the most underrated song on this album, but I think it's one of Weird Al's most underrated songs, period. Musically, it's amazing. Lyrically, it has a couple of his absolute funniest lines of all time. The conceit itself is, of course, it's an old trope. The whole thing of, we had it so rough when we were kids and you don't have to do anything. And, but I just think he pulls it off so brilliantly. And some of the couple of the funniest lines that I think he's ever put down on paper exist in this song. So that's my sort of opening salvo for When I Was Your Age.
Yeah, it's great. And here's the thing. I fully appreciate where you're coming from with your appreciation for Off the Deep End, because Bad Hair Day is, to me, is what Off the Deep End is to you. Like, that was the first thing. So, like, there is not a thing on Bad Hair Day that I'm like, I'd get rid, because I'm like, oh yeah. We just spun Bad Hair Day on vinyl the other day, and I was in complete, like, full of joy the entire time because there was nothing I didn't want to hear on it, Yeah.
But, and that may be an age thing. I'm 42, or I know I'm a few years older than you, I think.
I'm 37. So
okay,
that totally tracks.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Totally tracks, because there's 4 years between Off the Deep End and Bad Hair Day. So like that's the difference right
Yeah.
there exactly. But yeah. Like, okay, well, I'm gonna sidebar a little bit because Russ is 47, okay? And so his first one that he went to buy sight unseen was Polka Party.
Okay.
So he has a deep-seated love for Polka Party because we're going to Detroit. Actually, as this is airing for people, we're going to Detroit today. But we're going to Detroit to, see his family and friends kind of deal. And he is going to take me to the site of what he believes is the greatest slight in his entire life, where he went to a record store the day that Polka Party came out to buy Polka Party and some other album that is like almost the polar opposite of Polka Party. I forget what that is, right? But he was like the cool kid in this record store, and he went to the checkout counter, and the clerk there was like, really? Weird Al, and like made him feel like such garbage for being there on opening day for this Weird Al album. And, seriously, like nearly 40 years later, he's like, this is the most terrible thing that happened. Like, I got made fun of for this. But, and he likes to say that he kind of held on to the anger from that moment, but now he gets to look back on it and be like, see, I was that kid who went and bought Polka Party on the day that it opened, and now look that's ultimately what got me my wife. So right? It was that deep level Weird Al. But yes, so that totally tracks. But like, so I was kind of the one, like, we got Bad Hair Day, and then Off the Deep End was like 2 albums behind where I was, and I was like, oh, okay, like I get this. But to your when I was your age point, when this song comes up on shuffle for me, this feels like an Alapalooza song and not an Off the Deep End song.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's a little more like there was a lot of random pop music happening at the time that this came out, and the mixture of like you go from grunge, you go from a Nirvana parody to Gerardo parody to New Kids on the Block. Like this album is all over the place stylistically for sure. You've got was Can't Watch This his first rap parody?
Yeah.
I feel like it is. I could be wrong, but and so like it just literally is like all over the map stylistically. And then you've got When I Was Your Age is kind of a straight ahead, just a kind of a rock thing. I feel like it borrows a little bit stylistically, not in a I wouldn't call it a pastiche, but it's got that Don Henley Dirty Laundry vibe.
It does. You're right. I hadn't thought of that, but now that you mentioned it, I can totally hear that.
You got kind of the organ doing the that's what it gives me. It gives me that Dirty Laundry thing, which I assume Dirty Laundry came out in the 80s. I really don't know.
It sure did. Did.
So, it feels great. It's got some chords. I don't want to get in the weeds on like the music theory of it all, but there are certain chords on this song mixed with the harmonies, specifically the last lines of the chorus, on the word I, on the last lines of the chorus. It does something chemically to me. The harmonies layered over that chord, it just does something to me that I can't fully explain. And always has. Like it's just beautiful music, makes my soul happy. But then add on top of that brilliant lyrics, like even, I mean, I hate to say it, and honest to God, trigger warning, because there is like references to like parental abuse in the song. It's taken as a joke, but I don't want to hurt anybody with it. But the last verse, he talks about, Dad would whip us every night till 12:15. Then he'd get too tired and make us whip ourselves. And then he does the, the ultimate Weird Al thing was just take it one step too far into the absurd. Then he'd chop me into pieces and play Frisbee with my brain. And let me tell you, Junior, you never heard me complain. Like the idea that this happened nightly, you know what I mean? It's just wonderfully absurd. I love it. I think my favorite line, and this is what I would call one of the most underrated lines of his whole catalog, is okay, there were 73 of us living in a cardboard box. All I got for Christmas was a lousy bag of rocks. Every night for dinner we had a big old chunk of dirt. If we were really good, we didn't get dessert.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's, I mean, come on. You're only getting that from Weird Al. That is just next level funny.
What would dessert even be? Like,
Right? It makes you go, my God, what was dessert?
what would it even be?
Yeah. So such a funny concept that, you know, like you have certain lines that you can kind of see coming, you know what I mean? That's just a line that you just don't see coming at all. And I understand, and I didn't know this until I did a little research on the song, but that section of the song in particular borrows a little bit from a Monty Python sketch. There's a Monty Python sketch called The Four, oh gosh, what's it called? It's four guys from a certain area of England, and
Okay.
four Yorkshiremen or something like that. It's something like that, and they're all talking about how bad they had it when they were young, and so there's literally one of them that's like, you know, oh, you know, it goes from like, oh, you had a house, you were lucky. We had a hole in the ground covered with a tarp, and it goes down to like, there were 100 of us in a cardboard box in the middle of the street, and we, you know, that kind of thing. And so literally a couple lines in the song are almost direct references to sections of that sketch. So go check it out. I'll try and look it up as we're talking, what the name of that sketch is. But yeah, it's really funny.
Okay, yeah. I mean, if you find that, I can put the link in the show notes for people to.
It is the Four Yorkshiremen.
The Four Yorkshiremen. See, you did it. You got
I
it.
did it. Pulled it out.
Look at that. Yeah. Look, see, I love when our brains do that thing where it's like, I don't know if I'm close. I don't know.
That's right. We're like, I'm gonna try it. We'll see.
We'll see what sticks. We'll see what sticks. Yeah. You have probably just given me a new appreciation for this song. I will say, I have a playlist that I've made for myself that's comprised entirely of Weird Al originals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the last time we were going to see Weird Al, I distinctly remember this song came on when I was like 2 or 3 stoplights away from the venue, and the "Make Us Whoop Ourselves" line came on. So when you said that, I had this weird like, oh, the last time I really heard that song, I was in this spot, like about to go do the thing, and like I saw that space in my
That's
brain.
awesome. Love that.
So yeah, it's one thing I do love and appreciate about songs like When I Was Your Age, especially ones that aren't they're not a pastiche of anything in particular, I like that it gives us an idea of what Weird Al would do musically if left completely to his own devices.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, so that kind of tells you that around this time, this is the kind of song that he just sort of wanted to write for some reason or another.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. Very, very cool in that way. And I can't disagree with how funny the lyrics are. You know, if you're talking about tracks on this album, this is probably up there with one of my favorites. I do enjoy Airline Amy, but spoiler alert, that's not my underrated track on this
Okay.
album.
All right.
But I do like Airline Amy. I don't want to derail too much, but I'm just curious. What is it about Airline Amy that doesn't hit it for you?
I think for me, it's now one thing I just realized, or just had this question that as I listened to it, and you know, sometimes songs play and you don't think through them, right? But then sometimes as an adult, you hear a song that you've heard a million times as a kid, and you go, wait a minute, and you either catch something or realize something. And so I was listening to this maybe last week, listening to Airline Amy, and it occurred to me as an adult, I don't know if Amy is into him. As a kid, I always assumed, right, that this is a real relationship, and just the way they date is he buys an airline ticket. But as an adult, I go, there's nothing in the lyric that actually indicates that this is reciprocal, right? That there's like, it's like, is he just obsessed with Amy and he's just buying these tickets so that he can hopefully one day get her in an upright locked position? You know, that's the goal. That's the mission. But like, and I do think that line is brilliant.
So good.
But it just falls a little short for me. I don't know why. I just feel like maybe the jokes don't hit as well for me a lot on that one. It's just not as funny as I kind of want it to be. And then there's that thing of, it kind of does the same thing that some of my like least favorite Beatles songs do, where I feel like almost the Airline Amy title maybe kind of drove the song like Lovely Rita Meter Maid. You know what I mean? It's like you come up with this thing and then you write a song around it, and I just feel like maybe the actual meat of the song just doesn't. It's just not my flavor as much.
Yeah, though that makes sense. So speaking of flavor and meat, like he kind of does the same thing with Taco Grande.
Yeah.
On here, and I get that that's a parody, which is, like a whole different animal. But I guarantee that when he came up with that, the title came into his head first, and then he wrote a song
Sure.
around it.
Yeah, absolutely.
There wasn't anything in the content of Rico Suave that made him go, "This is about tacos,"
Yeah.
Instead, he just went Taco Grande.
Grande.
Oh, God. I'm not going to belabor the point of Taco Grande because listeners of the Beard Owl podcast get to hear me belabor that topic next Friday on Cinco de Mayo. Yeah, we did that on purpose.
Excellent. Well done.
Yeah, that's
Well
what
done.
that's what we do. That's what we do.
I will say one more argument for when I was your age that some of the other songs on this album probably don't do as well is that it is a universal, eternal concept. From till the end of time, parents will be saying crap like this to their kids. You know what I mean? And so you don't always get like that. Like even songs about cable TV are kind of starting to age out.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So there's probably certain songs on here that the jokes won't live forever, but those jokes will be funny forever because people will always be saying those kinds of things forever.
Oh, they absolutely will. Like it's even happening now. I teach college, and I'm kind of getting to the point where my students their life experience is different enough from mine when I was like, I didn't have a smartphone in college.
Right. Yeah.
I had to go to a computer lab on campus to look things up. If I had to bring a draft of a paper to class, I had to print it out.
Yep.
Whereas they're like, I just have my laptop here. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
I had a friend in high school who brought a typewriter to class so he could finish his term paper.
That's great. Oh, yeah, but you're absolutely right in that regard. Like, that's the kind of thing that's just going to keep happening. People are going to be like, oh, man, when I was your age, and I totally do that when I'm teaching. I'm like, when I was your age,
Yeah, you can't help it. It's always going to happen.
Yeah. Oh, God. So, do you want to know what I think is the most underrated track on Off the Deep End?
I would love to know.
Because I'm taking a big swing here.
Okay.
I'm taking a big
excited.
swing. And I thought about it, and people can think what they want. But if you take this song and put it in its time and just kind of look at it for what it is, Trigger Happy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
Because this is the first time he did a Beach Boys thing. Then you
Right.
have the absolute masterpiece that is Pancreas that comes, 10 plus years later. But Trigger Happy, I think, is so incredibly brilliant. And what bothers me is that this is the kind of thing that would have been absolutely incredible to see and hear on either iteration of the ridiculously self-indulgent ill-advised vanity tour. But
Sure.
given the climate of the world today, it couldn't happen.
No way. No way at all.
And I, as somebody who just appreciates this for what it is, I find that very disappointing,
Yeah.
But Weird Al has to know that in some way, if he were to step out on a stage anywhere in this country and sing a song sing Trigger Happy, even though it's so great and so funny, someone somewhere would cancel him.
Sure.
And so that is why I am bringing Trigger Happy to the table, because this song cracked me. I remember the first time I heard Trigger Happy because it was the first time listening to Off the Deep End straight through, and just that jarring transition from Smells Like Nirvana into Trigger Happy. It's like a gut punch. You don't get any more different than that, first of all.
Such a swing. Yeah.
It's crazy. And then talk about funny lyrics. There are some lines in this song that it's Weird Al's stance when you listen to this. If you know Weird Al, he's just kind of look, this is not right. Okay.
Right.
However, I'm going to do this song the way that I do it because I am Weird Al. And-
Right. Yeah. It's got layers, right?
Mhm.
You can filter through and get the kind of thought behind the song.
Yes. Like that line, well, you can't take my guns away. I got a constitutional right. And me saying that sentence just like that is like, oh boy. But when it's done, well, you
Right,
can't
here
take
we
my
go.
guns away. I got a constitutional right. Chop, choo, wop, boo, bop, bop. It's that there's a dissonance between the lyrics and the music behind
Yeah.
it that is just so brilliantly hilarious that like you can't deny it. And I almost feel like if more people heard Trigger Happy, like maybe we wouldn't be where we are.
Right. There's a certain degree to which like seeing the silliness of your own thing that you're kind of out of whack about can maybe bring you back down to earth a little bit about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It can help you see the silliness. I fully agree. Like there is a lot of comedy in the song, in the juxtaposition of like, this is really a serious thing you're talking about,
Mhm.
but you're singing it in the most ridiculous way, like you're surfing, in the 60s.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a thing that Weird Al just does so well. And I feel like he did things like this before, but he has gotten better at tackling stuff like this in a weird like way that doesn't make sense as he goes on. Like Weasel Stomping Day, for instance.
yeah.
It's got the line, "It's tradition that makes it
That
okay."
makes it okay.
And it's like, does it? Does it though? Does it
Yeah.
though? And so what I take away from Trigger Happy is that this is kind of like the germ from whence all of those other like real commentary things come from. Because at this point, he's the eat it guy, he's the songs about TV guy, he's the food
Yeah.
guy. And then you get something like this that comes right after that big lead single to this album, which is the thing that kind of turned his career around again.
Yeah.
Right?
mhm.
And more people need to hear it. However, more people aren't going to hear it because people aren't going to appreciate the nuance of it today.
Right. Yeah.
And that makes me so mad. Makes me so mad. Weird Al is there. He's all about nuance. And it's like what you were saying about, when I was your age, where you get that bit about where it's like, so he made us whoop ourselves. It's like, there's a nuance to that comedy. He's not being literal. That like it's a joke. He's not making light of abuse. He's
Sure.
not making light of gun violence. He's turning a funhouse mirror on these things and basically saying, "Do you see how ridiculous you are?
Right.
Because I'm making you sound exactly that way." And that joke is just going to go way over so many people's heads. But when I was a child listening to this song, I, of course, didn't get the nuance. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Okay? Because, I accidentally shot Daddy last night in the den. I mistook him in the dark for a drug-crazed Nazi again.
Again.
Like, it's
Yeah.
happened before. It's happened before. Oh, my God. It was just a lousy flesh wound, Dad.
That's the line that lives forever for me. Like, it was just a lousy flesh wound. Yeah.
And the way he delivers it, too. It was just
Yeah.
a lousy flesh wound, Dad. Well, I'm trigger happy. And the background vocals in that section completely get me.
Yep.
Shooting Daddy in the den. It's
Yes.
there's layers to the comedy and there's layers to the music that I'm just like, this blows my mind. This totally blows my mind. Like, not like blows my mind like trigger happy, but it just like internally blows.
Sure.
See?
Yeah.
Because I can make that joke because I understand nuance.
Right. Right. Yeah. Fully agree. That song is also an underrated, and I remember I had friends who, like their parents wouldn't let them listen to that song. Like you have to skip it because they didn't catch the comedy in it. They were just like, this kid shot his dad. So, you know what I mean? So like, they were like, oh, I'm sorry. We have to skip this one whenever we'd be playing it. Like, okay, fine. I get it. I mean, I don't get it, but I get it. I understand why.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So,
Really? That's crazy.
Yeah, I remember I had friends who's like, I won't get into it, but yeah,
They had
the
to
dads
skip it.
weren't having it.
Wow. That hadn't even occurred to me because I kind of always just sort of figured that, parents are like, oh, it's Weird Al. Like, I don't have to worry
Yeah.
about it. And so, like, wouldn't necessarily, like, vet it. But again, this is not a song that you really have to worry about if,
If
yes.
right,
And that's just totally something that's missing today is just the appreciation of nuance, especially in things like this. And
sure.
Yeah.
A lot of the things that we call satire now are not really satire,
No, they're
but
not.
this actually is.
Mhm.
This is actual satire if you chew on it.
Yep. And it's brilliant. And like, don't even get me started on how great it is as far as being a pastiche of the style of like
Oh yeah.
lyrics completely aside. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's so well done. I mean, it's spot on as a Beach Boys, pastiche, and yeah, and so he's so meticulous about those things anyway. Like he has, he wears these influences all on his sleeve, and then when he decides, okay, I'm going to do a Beach Boys thing, I'm going to do a Talking Heads thing, whoever it is, right? I'm going to do Pixies, whatever. It's going to be, you're going to know it if you know who he's doing. Then you go, oh man, I'm with you immediately, and it adds another layer. Or if you don't, like, and you're a kid and you don't know like who's somebody on this album you might have missed. Maybe if you didn't know Milli Vanilli, let's say, you could have gotten away maybe without knowing Milli Vanilli, and then later you hear them and you go, oh man, it's just a whole other level of funny.
It absolutely is. And what's really cool about this album in particular is this is the first one that that Weird Al produced himself.
Yeah, I didn't know that until a little research. That's awesome.
Yeah. And so you get that I think that's kind of why stuff like Trigger Happy or like When I Was Your Age and just the sound on even Smells Like Nirvana is so incredibly spot on because he finally had control over all of it.
Yeah.
And for this album, for what it is it's the ramp for like everything awesome that came after it. Like the 80s Weird Al is amazing, is absolutely amazing. But you feel him coming into his own as an artist when the 90s start.
Yeah.
And
right.
like it's all kind of laid out here on Off the Deep End.
Yeah, this is kind of the beginning of the second act. That's well said. Well said.
It for sure is. Did you have any? I didn't lay this out for you as a question that I was going to ask you. But as far as underrated tracks go, did you have any like honorable mentions where you're like, oh, I was kind of torn between this or that?
So, I said kind of an honorable mention for me would be You Don't Love Me Anymore. Even though it is a highly rated track, I still think it's possible to make the argument that it's underrated because it's just kind of next level good. And if you get a chance, if you don't have a chance to go see Al live or they don't do this when you go see it, find a spot on YouTube, get some good headphones and just listen to Jim West play this song live. It sounds incredible. And I mean, he just nails it. And it's just a whole other vibe live. But I think musically, that's one of the most interesting, songs on this album. And it's mostly due to Jim's guitar part. So that one would be, for me, my honorable mention. I just love this album. I think so many songs on this album are really good. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I Was Only Kidding is kind of underrated. It's, just one of those, just another example of him just leaning into absurdity, which is one of my, favorite things that he does. So it's like, I can't believe you don't get this. Like,
Yeah. I was just going to say that it was a little over a year ago. I played I Was Only Kidding for one of my good friends for the first time. She had never heard the song before. And the joy I got watching her face when he got to the punchline was like hearing it for the first time again. And so part of what makes a good underrated Weird Al song for me is wishing I could hear it for the first time again.
Yeah.
So I Was Only Kidding would absolutely be on my like honorable mention short list for things that are underrated on this album, because
Yeah.
you don't hear it enough, and like the way it starts is not where it goes.
Right.
And when that joke hits you, it's like, oh, and then you kind of have to go back and listen to it again because you're laughing through like the first verse and a half because the joke happened.
Yeah.
And it's just so funny. Like, oh, darling, won't you put down that gun? And so it's so great. It's so great.
That's been one of my favorite things about introducing Weird Al to my kids over time, is that I get to basically I get to listen for the first time again with through their ears. You know what I mean? I get to see the jokes land with them, and I get to, especially those like that one has kind of a sucker punchline that kind of comes out of nowhere. That's like you said, it's the opposite of where you think you're going. You know, he sets it up this way and then he tees it the opposite direction. And so, you know, one of my favorite things about getting my kids, you know, in love with Weird Al is hearing these songs with them with kind of fresh ears as they take it in. It's been so much fun.
Oh, I bet that's great. That's not reason enough for me to want to have a kid, but but I bet that's great.
Man, so I got to take them to the Vanity Tour Part 2 last year in this amazing venue in Middle Tennessee called the Caverns.
I saw pictures of that on Al's Instagram. That looks awesome.
It was unbelievable. It's literally just an underground cave where they've set up an amazing sound system, and there's a PBS show that they air from there. It's something about bluegrass underground, I think it's called. If you
that makes
check
sense.
it out, there's some good like HD shows from there that they do.
Being in a cave and whatnot.
But anyway, that was my Christmas present from my mom and stepdad was taking the kids to see Weird Al at the show. So I got to take all 4 of my kids. And we got to, you know, they all got to experience it together. My oldest 2 had been once before with me, but I got to take them all, oldest to youngest, and they just had a blast, man. It was incredible.
That's absolutely delightful. That is so great. That's so great. Like that just makes my heart happy.
It was great. And it's a weirdly built venue. There's no backstage because the stage is just backed up against the wall of the cave. And so we stuck around a little bit after the show, and they got to, like, Al had to walk out where everybody was because there's no back door. And so Al and the band just came walking by, and my kids got to see him from like 8 feet, you know, and they're like, yeah.
That's awesome.
So it was awesome.
Was he cool about it? Did he like wave? Did he do that Weird Al wave?
Oh yeah, he did. He did that Al wave. Yes.
I love it. It's like, hi.
That sort of casual turn to the side while he's walking. Yeah.
He's so cute. I love him. I love him so much. I love him so much. I did a whole show about him.
Right.
Yeah. Oh God. I had a thing. Oh yes, I know where I was going in my brain. The closest that I have to that is the last time Russ's son Zach came down to visit us. We sat between, during the duration of his visit here. We watched the entirety of the Weird Al show because he had never seen it. Because like I was the right age for that when it came out, so I watched it the whole 4 or 5 months or whatever it was on TV. I saw the whole thing when it happened.
Sad little short run.
Yep. Oh, we've got episodes about it, about why it could have been so much better than it was. But anyway, I got to watch him watch the Weird Al show for the first time and like appreciate it and get it. And I feel like if he was like a little kid, it wouldn't have landed, but he's like 17.
Yeah.
And so it hit just right because he understood its place in time, and he understood Weird Al enough to get the jokes. And I remember like sitting there watching it and laughing. Then I'd look over and be like, is he laughing? Is he laughing? Is he laughing at this? Because this is hilarious. Is he laughing? And so I got to feel that, which was, that was fun. But it's not as cool as taking my kids to see Weird Al in a cave.
Yeah. Would recommend.
Would recommend. Yeah. Oh man. What do you remember what the original song that he did at the end of your show was? If you don't, it's okay. I just figured if you kind of knew offhand.
What do you mean the original song?
Because he opened the cover, the non-parody cover.
Oh, the cover. That one I don't remember what it was.
So-
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Mustn't have been all that great.
That's weird. I really don't remember what it was.
This past tour, I got Beat on the Brat by the Ramones,
Okay.
and I got Werewolves of London.
Oh yeah, awesome.
And the first iteration of the Vanity Tour, I got Jenny 8675309.
Okay.
But what was cool about getting Werewolves of London is we went with our karaoke host friend of ours, and one of his go-to karaoke songs is Werewolves of London. So he's
Nice.
sitting there, and then Weird Al broke into this song that he sings, fairly frequently, and he was like, "Oh my God, he's doing the thing that I do."
Doing my
And
song.
it was just kind of like a lovely little moment.
Yeah.
So,
One of the times the first Vanity Tour, I saw him twice. I can't remember both, but one of them he did We're an American Band by Grand
Nice.
Funk Railroad. I loved that. That was freaking amazing.
Yeah. And I think that is so cool. And it's definitely still kind of an offshoot of what we were talking about, how tight his band is and like where the artistic direction is going and stuff. Because doing those originals at the end of a tour like this, it just illustrates for people that like no, they don't just do his funny stuff. They
Yeah.
can do whatever, but
They can do
also
anything.
it illustrates how complex and just the musicality behind anything that Weird Al put out is. Like,
Yeah.
none of it is easy.
Yeah. No. And he's vocally, like when you see him live, I wish I could remember what the song was, but there was one song this last time we saw him that I went, there's no way he hits this note. Like I think he had COVID or something recently. He was
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
recovering
he
from
did.
something. And so I was like, there's no way he's going to hit this. He's going to like come off this somehow. And he just nailed it. And I was like, man, like he's just so good. Everything about him and the band is just so amazing to see live. It gives you a whole other appreciation for what they did.
It sure does. See, now I'm like, if I had to guess, kind of knowing what the kind of the bag of songs that he was doing on this tour, it was probably Melanie. Melanie.
He did yeah. You know what it was? I know what it was. I thought I couldn't believe it because I thought this is going to ruin him for the rest of the show. It's what it was. He did I'll Sue Ya and did all the screams and everything. And I was like, that's going to ruin him for the rest of the show. But he just kept crushing the rest of the night.
I don't know how he does anything that he does.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand it. But we are truly, truly, truly blessed to have a Weird Al in the world.
That's right. One of the best things about our timeline.
It truly is. And I kind of love the Weird Al timeline that we're living in. We're getting all this weird stuff that's coming out. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just having a lot of fun with it. It is what it is. It's great.
Yeah. We got a whole movie about the guy.
I know, and it was
was
so
great.
good. It was so good.
Yeah.
We had some beautiful timeline. So, did you have anything else that you wanted to add about Off the Deep End or the song that you think is underrated or anything like that? Because I feel like we've had a pretty awesome discussion about all of it.
Chock full of goodness. Yeah, I'll just, I don't know. I'll just say, I think this album is full of bangers. And I just love it to this day. I'll sit down and just listen to this whole album front to back. And this one has some really good, the polka has some really like songs of my childhood in it. And I got to admit, I was kind of into New Kids on the Block when this came out. I was like,
No
I
shame.
was fairly big into New Kids on the Block. I had like some trading cards and stuff like that. So like having a New Kids on the Block parody on this album was kind of fun. But juxtaposed against Nirvana, like Nirvana kind of offsets everything on this album. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you just pair them all up against each other and it just makes it even funnier. So,
It's crazy.
I love this album. It's one of my favorites.
It's so great. I will say the polka Your Eyes Out is my go-to Weird Al polka for karaoke.
Okay.
I can't even tell you how many times I've done Polka Your Eyes Out at karaoke because I've totally lost count. It's kind of one of those things that when the crowd feels right, I'll just whip it out and do it. Like if I'm like, oh, people are gonna get this like
Yeah, 'cause
early
people know
90s stuff.
so many of those songs.
Right?
Yeah.
People are going to know this and they're going to be like, what is she doing up there? What is she doing up there? What is she doing up there? I like what I like about it in a karaoke context is it doesn't start sounding like a polka. You start with that Billy Idol riff and people are going to be like, oh. And then it's like, rock the cradle of love. Rock the... And it's like, what is happening? What is going on? What is going on? And it's just so much fun for me kind of as a person who does not give a hoot what people think
Right.
about me. I'm like, are you having a good time though? So
Yeah,
then
exactly.
don't
Are
care
you
if I'm
entertained?
embarrassing myself because I'm not.
I'm imagining people at karaoke who don't know you, like who don't know what you do.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, they're like, "Oh, she's going with Billy Idol. Interesting choice." And then you break into da 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 da. Hey, and
Rock
it's
the-
like, I love it. It's great.
It's delightful every time. And because we're on our plane to Detroit right now, we are going to be doing karaoke in Detroit this weekend.
Okay.
And as long as the DJ has it, because that's one of the common ones that exists, I will be doing Polka Your Eyes Out in front of all of Russ's friends, my
Nice.
new husband's friends. And they're going to be like, so that's your wife, huh? And he's going to be like, yep, exactly.
She's the one. Hey,
I married her on purpose.
That's great. I can't wait till your show is big enough and the combination of your shows are big enough to where when you guys like you can just say on the air like, okay, we're going to be in Detroit this weekend. Meet us at whatever location, right? And fans just come out and do karaoke party with you. Like that'd be amazing.
That's kind of the dream. That's a big time dream. I would love
Yeah.
that. I would love that. We'll see. We'll see. We're doing all right on YouTube.
It's coming. It's
We're
coming.
yeah, it's coming.
Okay,
We'll
good
see.
deal.
Yeah, we're doing all right on YouTube, so it's all good. Oh, I love it. So, Rob, again, here, thank you, first of all, for being on this fun new series that we're doing on Beard
Of
Owl.
course. My pleasure.
And you said it at the beginning, but just say it at the end, like your quick like pitch of the shows that people should check out. There are going to be links in the show notes, so don't you fret. But
Okay. Show number 1, the Great Song Podcast. We're going to tell you why the songs you think are awesome, why we love them, why we think you should love them too. And Cinema Snack Bar is the new venture, the movies you love and the foods that made them tasty. So, and you can go to greatsongpodcast.com or cinemasnackbar.com to get started on either one.
great, you made that so easy because when I'm editing this, I'm just going to type those links out and then
There
paste
you
them
go.
into the thing. It's just delightful. You're a very good guest. Thank you. You've done this
I've been at
before.
this a long time
Yeah.
now. I've been, you know,
Sure
I
have.
appreciate it.
Yeah. Oh, and so I guess, well, mark your calendar for sometime in springtime of 2024. You want to
That's
come
right.
back on the show.
There we go.
That's delightful. Well, anyway, this has been a very special episode of the Beard Owl Podcast. Rob, thank you again for being here. And I'm still Lauren. I'm always here. This show doesn't happen without me. And next week, we begin our 3-year anniversary month of craziness.
Wow.
Yeah. We've got John and I are talking about Taco Grande on Cinco de Mayo. On May 12th, John and I are talking about If That Isn't Love, because May 12th is our parents' wedding anniversary. And we're like, well, if they didn't do that, this show wouldn't happen.
Right.
And then the Friday after that, Russ, my husband, actually is going to be on. And we're going to bring his podcast's format over to Beard Owl. And we're going to be talking about the Medium Rarities LP that's in the Squeezebox box set.
Oh.
Yeah, we're going to have a good time with that. And then the last Friday of May, it's our 3-year anniversary special. We're going to be unveiling our brand new Beard Owl Podcast re-rank of the songs. Ho, ho.
Oh,
Because,
yeah.
we've got them all ranked and
Excellent.
opinions changed. John redid the whole freaking algorithm and
Wow.
spent a lot of time in spreadsheets about it. So he's very proud of himself. So we're dedicating an entire episode to that. And people, if you are listening to this and you want to contribute to that episode with maybe, 20, 30, 40-second clip of yourself kind of saying like, hey, congratulations, Beard Owl, or like, hey, you guys are terrible. Please stop doing this. And you want us to play that. We totally will, because we don't care. We're not going to stop no matter what you say. But if you want to send that over to us, shoot us a message on any of the socials and I'll tell you where to send that. Or you can send it to beardowlpodcast@gmail.com. and we'll try and get you on the show. But we are recording that on. John and I are recording that on May 7th. So
Okay.
that's your timeline. So
Go
if you
for it.
want to get on our show, which is going to be the last Friday of May, you have to let us know by May 7th in like the middle of the day.
Here we go.
And we'll get you on there, I promise. Anyway, thank you again, Rob, for being here.
My pleasure.
And thank you, Beard Owl friends, for listening. And we're going to come at you again next time, people. It's been fabulous. Whee!
Oh, sorry. We got a one. We got a capital again.